did I ever ask you to take me? All I ever asked was you to pick up the phone when you were home. All I ever asked was you to show me some love.
Hi everyone, it's Adyel here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back in New York. Hey, I'm in my old home, and if you're a real OG, this might look familiar to you. I think I filmed like a total of maybe 10 videos in this dining room area. I really wanted to film in my old bedroom for you guys, but you can stay tuned for my vlog. You'll see I used to have my 100K plaque hanging up and stuff, but all of that was taken down and moved to my Los Angeles apartment. So the background ain't the cutest, and I also don't have my studio lights with me, so I figured that I would just film with natural light in this setup, so I hope you guys don't mind. But in today's video, the focus is going to be flawless face makeup. One of the #1 makeup questions I get asked, whether it's in person or it's on the internet, is about my face makeup and how I really maintain like a flawless, poreless, smooth, porcelain face makeup. So I realized I never really did a step-by-step in-depth face tutorial, or at least I haven't in a while, a flawless foundation routine. That is what I'm doing today, and I'm also letting you guys know all of my face favorites. So yeah, I'm so excited for this video. Be sure to give it a big thumbs up to let me know how you like these types of videos. It also helps my channel out a lot. Also, leave me a comment down below on anything you learned, any insight, or also let me know your favorite face products that you want me to try in future videos. And if you are not subscribed to my channel already, please be sure to do so. It is such a fun time around here, and I would absolutely love it if you stuck around. Your girl is trying to stay on the grind, even on vacation visiting families. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you want to see how I got this flawless face makeup, then please keep on watching. Okay guys, so I'm so excited. We're going to go ahead and get started. I know this isn't face related, but I'm going to apply some chapstick. This is one of my favorite chapsticks. It is the Smith's Tropical Ambrosia Balm with coconut and mango. It reminds me of vacation and pina colada. I love it, and it's the same brand that does the rosebud salve and all that. But yeah, so today's focus is gonna be the face. So I'm gonna go through step by step, and I'm gonna show you guys the products that I'm currently using and that I have in my travel makeup bag. And then I'm also going to tell you some alternative products and some of my other all-time favorite products in each category. So the first step in my makeup routine always is to moisturize my face. Personally, I think this is the most important step in your makeup routine. Whether you have dry skin, oily skin, you always want to make sure that you're using your moisturizer. This is going to act as a barrier between your skin and the makeup, so it's going to help to protect your pores. It's going to soak into the skin, prep and hydrate the skin. Personally, I have more normal skin, definitely more on the dry side though, so this especially is crucial for me because I want to make sure to hydrate my skin. Also, it just feels a lot better when you apply moisturizer before anything. Your makeup applies way smoother, and it just feels really refreshing and rejuvenating. I always forget I have to start like blending my moisturizer up and like practicing good skincare, because good skin starts when you're young. You know, you gotta prevent those wrinkles before they even come in. And always moisturize your neck and go upwards, especially if you apply a lot of neck makeup. I always blend down to my neck. I feel like everyone should be applying neck makeup, so you know, just moisturize everywhere. This is the Joanna Vargas Daily Hydrating Cream. I'm just using this at the moment. I also love the Kiehl's Ultra Hydrating Cream. I don't know, I'll insert a picture here. Why am I forgetting the rest of the names of the moisturizers I love? The Glow Recipe Watermelon Pink Juice. Also, there's another one. I used to be obsessed with it. I haven't had it in a long time, but I forget the name. I'll link it. I'll link all the products down below for you guys as well. You can also put a moisturizer with sunscreen on to protect your face. Also, for moisturizing primers that are specific primers that are gonna help moisturize. I feel like any moisturizer is gonna act as a primer, honestly, but if you want to put a moisturizing primer on top or just use a moisturizing primer in general, I really recommend the Glossier moisturizing primer. I also love the Makeup Forever moisturizing primer, the Smashbox, not the water spray, but the primerizer. Moving on to the next step, I always go in with a poreless smoothing primer right on top of my moisturizing primer. You can mix primers, you can put as many primers as you want. There's no harm in putting a bunch of primers because it's just going to protect your skin. You can use different primers that target different skin concerns. difference. So for me, I like to hydrate my dry skin, but then I also like to put a smoothing blurring primer on top. So I usually vary between this Smashbox Photo Finish Primer and then the Benefit Professional. Right now, to be completely honest, my skin is at my personal worst because when I travel a lot, my skin just tends to act up. So that's what's happening right now, so I definitely need this. Also, a smoothing primer is a staple for me because I like to fill in my scar. So yeah, I like to rub this in my fingers. I know you're supposed to use a small amount, but honestly, I just go in my chin, in between my nose, under my eyes, in my scar. Okay, so moving on, lately the next step for me has been foundation. First, I'm going to talk about sponges. So lately I've been using the new Dose of Color sponge. It is my new all-time favorite sponge in the world. It is so soft. To me, it's softer than a beauty blender, and I also love this tip and the shape. Overall, I think this is an amazing sponge. My other favorite sponges will do like top 4, I guess, because I don't have a 5th one. The original Beauty Blender, the Morphe sponges, and the LA Girl sponge. Those are like my top ones. So you have all different price ranges, but right now I really think that the Dose of Colors is killing the game. And along with this sponge, I'm going to use their brand new foundation. This is the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue in the shade 118 in the light medium category. This is pretty much my match right now. My other go-to lately has been the Too Faced Born This Way. I'm just not going to use this one today just because it's getting to be like a little bit too dark because I am losing my tan from Cancun, unfortunately. I gotta be hitting the beach more often, I guess. This one's unreal. I did a review first impressions video with my good friend Cameron Lester on YouTube, so if you haven't watched that, check it out. But it's a soft matte and it has a blurring effect. It claims to have it and it does. Like, it's unreal. It's actually crazy. And one more foundation recommendation. I love and adore the LA Girl, the luminous one. I haven't used that one in so long, actually. I need a refill and that reminds me. But yeah, so those are my 2 matte options and then my luminous option. The 3 of these are like my top ride or die. So yeah, I just start by dotting it in the center of the face, on the chin, on the nose, the forehead, and I blend this into the skin. So I start here and do like a light base. Please ignore, I look even paler because my chest and my neck like never ever tan. So I promise this foundation matches the rest of my body even though my arms are covered. I blend all over the neck, up into the ears, on the side of the neck, and straight into the chest. This is like a crucial step in making sure you have like a flawless face and a flawless finish, because trust me, if you have a difference from your face to your neck, or it's looking crazy all up in here, it's gonna distract from all the rest of your makeup. That's the only thing people are gonna be staring at. So you really wanna make sure that you master this down. And then I go back in with like a second layer. Make sure you get in between the nose. So now I leave my foundation to sit. I'm gonna go ahead and carve out my eyebrows off camera, and I do carve the tops of my eyebrows with foundation instead of concealer. But while I'm doing this, I'm letting the foundation breathe. I'm letting it sit, I'm letting it work with my skin, I'm not setting it, and once we're done with the brows, you'll see what I do next. Okay, so I just finished my eyebrows. Now we are going to move on. So once I do my eyebrows, my foundation has been sitting, so I like to go back in with my sponge and just go around and blend, including the concealer that's already on my lids. And then if I see that any spots like need more foundation or need touching up, I'll apply more foundation, but usually I don't need any. Usually I just need to go back in with my sponge and do some blending. Okay, so now moving on to concealer. This is one of my favorite parts because I feel like, sorry, I keep leaning forward because I can't really see the viewfinder, but I feel like concealer really makes your look be more put together. You can kind of see it all coming together. So I'm going to share my top 3 favorite concealers ever. And by the way, I like to apply all my liquid makeup, whether it's foundation or concealer, with a sponge. That's just my personal preference. I used to apply foundation with the brush first and then blend it out with the sponge, but ultimately I just always go back to the sponge. Anyways, this new concealer by Benefit, this is the Benefit Buoyant Cakeless Concealer. It's so unreal. It's so good. It's so full coverage, which I love. but it just gives the most flawless look, and it brightens the face, and it's creaseless, cakeless. It's just everything that I look for in a concealer. My second favorite concealer is the Born This Way, or my first favorite, I don't really know. These are kind of out of tie at the moment. This is in the shade 5, and then this is in the shade light beige. This is pretty much the same consistency. I would say this one's like a little bit thinner. This one's more comparable to Tarte Shape Tape, I would say. So yeah, I love this one just as much. It does the same effect. I love it. And then third favorite concealer would be Tarte Shape Tape. So for concealer, I always go down the bridge of the nose, the chin, do a little highlighting on the middle of the forehead, and then I go ahead and I create a little triangle. The one thing I don't like about this concealer is it has very little product in it. It has 0.17 fluid ounces. This is 0.50, I believe. So you can do the math. This one retails for $22, and I think the Too Faced, like, it can't be that much more. So it's up to you what you prefer, what's worth it. I love both of them pretty much equally. So yeah, but if you're wearing makeup every day, you might want to calculate it. But I'll also put more on my lids. And yeah, so I just go in and I start blending. I also like to let my concealer sit a little bit as well, just like the foundation. But with this one, I haven't really tested out doing that, but I always do that with the Too Faced one. Some concealers, you definitely just cannot do that in general. Oh, I forgot, there's like 2 more other concealers. So for some alternatives, the new Smashbox concealer is absolutely unreal and amazing. And also the MAC, what is it? I think the Pro Longwear, I guess, the newer one. But yeah, as you can see, just so effortless. Really been loving this concealer. So now moving on to powder. So on my trip, I took my Airspun powder because I did not want to bring my Laura Mercier, because this comes with a lot more, and I just feel like I'd rather travel with the less expensive one. So my top 2 favorite powders of all time are the Laura Mercier. Recently, I had went to like a little event with them, and we compared like the Laura powder to other powders. It's honestly the best on the market. However, this one does the trick. I've had this, I don't even know, since my senior or junior year of high school, and I'm about to be a junior in college. Like, it lasts forever and a day, and it's so affordable. So yeah, and I do think it's good. I used to have mixed opinions about it. I used to think that it gives flashback, but I don't really think it does anymore. You just have to make sure that you kind of like blend it in. But I don't know, I do enjoy it. It's not as good as Laura, but I just kind of press it under the eye and also all over the lid. I used to have a problem when I didn't do this. The concealer on my lids would crease like crazy, and like midway through the day I see creases on my lids. So you really want to make sure you pack that powder. This is like a crucial step for me, just because it makes sure that everything is going to stay bright and set all day. If you have more fine lines, I definitely wouldn't recommend baking, but honestly, baking is a key step to flawless, full coverage, beautiful makeup. I mean, it started with drag makeup, stage makeup, so. And now, even though I put a layer on top, I'm gonna kind of bake my eyelids at least. Not so much under, but I just really want to make sure that these aren't gonna crease. Let everything sit while I set my face. So for face powders, I have 2 top favorites. One is the MAC Next to Nothing face powder. It's so unreal. It honestly is next to nothing. It just sets your face, and the reason, honestly, my #1 step to a flawless face makeup is setting all over your face. I know some people tell you to just like go ahead and start bronzing on top of your foundation and this and that, but honestly, I found in order to make your makeup last all day, have smooth application, is to set your entire face. If you don't set your face, sometimes you'll realize that your contour or your blush will get like patchy or muddy, and that's because you need to set all over before you do the rest of your face makeup. I cannot stress this enough. So lately I've discovered Benefit Hello Happy foundation in the #6. I love it. It's really good, but like I said, the Next to Nothing powder I actually ran out of, but I'm obsessed with that stuff. But this is just as good. This one just provides like a little more coverage than the Next to Nothing, but the Next to Nothing, if you don't want to look like powdery at all, that is the way to go. And don't worry if when you put more powder, if you feel like you look cakey or anything, because I'm going to teach you at the end how to get rid of all of that. So I like to go ahead and set literally everywhere, all over your neck too. You want to make sure when you hug people that it avoids makeup transfer. But yeah, and then I like to go with the rest of the eye powder and really press that in. So now I set all over the face, and the next step is something that I've been doing for years. I actually can't remember a time that I did my makeup and didn't do this step. I'm just so used to it and it's just a part of my routine. So I'm going to show you guys. It is laying some powder down. So while you're doing your eyes, in this case I'm about to do my lashes and get them out of the way so I can do the rest of the face and finish this off for you guys. But I like to kind of do the opposite effect of contouring by placing powder around the edges of where I'm going to contour. So for example, my nose, I brighten up with powder and I let this bake. And also underneath my contour, this is really going to just ensure that our contour looks crisp. Of course, you also do this after you already put the contour down to clean it up. However, I like to do it before I even contour because it already starts creating a shadow for you by brightening up under. So I call this a bake tour. I don't really know where I got this from, if I got that specific name from somewhere or someone, because I've just been doing this ever since I started really getting into makeup. Yeah, this is my next step to a flawless face. And again, do not worry about like being powdery or anything because we're gonna fix that at the end. Also, I like to take some powder kind of like in between my eyebrows in this area. But yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyelashes, my eyes, get that out of the way so we can move on. Okay, so now the eyes are done. If anyone's wondering what lashes, these are by The Beauty Store. You can use the code Adyel. These are in the style Boss Babe. But yeah, moving on to the rest of the face. This is pretty much what you guys see in every video. So yeah, the bake tour has been setting, and now I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced Sun Bunny bronzer. This has been my favorite recently. Bronzers, I kind of switch up from here and there. Really love Too Faced bronzers a lot. It's usually what I'm always using. They just give such a nice glow. I love warm bronzers. I know like people say you're supposed to use cool tone bronzers, but I feel like when I use cool tone bronzers, I tend to look muddy and kind of like zombie looking, and I like to bring life and warmth back into the face. Now for blush, I found a new blush that is now one of my all-time favorites. It's the Sigma Core de Rosa Aura powder. Another one of my all-time favorites that is kind of similar is Too Faced Baby Love. Too Faced is a little bit deeper, but I've been really liking this light color lately, so I go ahead and I focus this on the apples of my cheek, and then I bring some of the color back into the temple and into the contour. And I've been loving like excessive blush, so you can apply to your preference. I think blush adds a lot of warmth into the face and liveliness, and it kind of gives you like a glowing from within healthy look. So I put some down the nose, under the chin, and I know a lot of people contour under their jawline. I notice when I tend to do that, it kind of looks muddy even when I bring it down, so I've been straying away from that. And now here's the time where I will put some extra powder underneath. And then I'm going to go ahead with my Sun Bunny bronzer and I'm going to contour my nose. I try and do this as light as possible. And I love doing this with the Sun Bunny because it looks beautiful blended into the nose highlight once I apply that. So now that I have those two lines, I go ahead and place some bake down the center and also along the sides again. Dust that off in just a second. Looking a little crazy right now, but don't worry. My blush, bronzer, like highlight routine pretty much stays the same for long periods at a time because I find my staple blush and bronzer and highlighter like combo and I stick to it. I also, you guys, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I love the Huda Beauty 3D highlighter palettes. Oh, so good. I really need to buy another one ASAP. But yeah, so this right here, this is the Lancome Dual Finish Highlighter in 05 Sparkling Peach or Peach. I don't know. But I love this color. I think it's the perfect color for my skin tone. So I kind of just go highlight. I think this is stunning. It's literally the perfect highlight in my opinion. So I always find myself going back to this one, or I used to be always using the Huda Beauty one. Also, I love the MAC Hyper Real Glow Rose Gold palette. It's just great. So then with the excess powder, I brush it up into the bronzer and the blush. And I swipe side to side, make sure that that line is crisp and clean like that. And I also blend. Because you don't want it to look too crisp to where it's looking like a straight line. You want it to fade seamlessly and create dimension. And with the nose, I dust it all away. And then I go ahead and I highlight on that top bridge right here. I've never been a fan of like bringing my nose highlight all the way down. For some reason, that's just me. I just really love it at the top. And then at the tip, it kind of creates like a pushed up effect, at least on my nose shape. You just kind of have to play around with your nose shape and whatever you prefer on yourself. Yeah, this is the flawless face. And then before stepping out, usually I'll go one more time like with my powder brush and just, you know, pat that in, and then I'll go in with my blush brush and re-accentuate and blend it in with that highlight, because sometimes you don't want the highlight to look like a stripe either. All kind of seamlessly goes together, and then you take the excess product on your contour brush. So then once you are happy with your results, you go in and spray. Right now I have my travel size Too Faced Hangover. This is one of my all-time favorite sprays. I also love the Smashbox one. The Urban Decay one I like, but I don't like the smell. So I've used it before, I just don't tend to repurchase it. I love the Scandinavian ones, MAC Fix Plus. Those are just a few of the ones that have stood out for me. So then a big part of this routine is to spray your face like crazy. For me, I kind of spray my face until it's like completely wet, and then I dry. My biggest reason for this is because it makes everything look seamless. It makes all the powders melt into the skin, and it makes your skin look like skin again. It really avoids that cakey look and the cakey finish. When someone looks at you, your face is gonna look more natural. Even though you might have a lot of makeup on, you might have a full coverage foundation on and like a ton of highlight and powder, it kind of just all blends into the face and soaks into the face. So this is the Flawless Face Makeup. I love it so much, and I actually just filmed a lip tutorial on how I make it look like I have bigger lips or lip injection looking lips. I actually love how this makeup turned out today. It turned out a little bit better than usual, and maybe it's because I was going so in depth and being so detailed with the process. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much. I can't wait to read all your comments, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.